Hello, my name is Jack Milne with Tri-County Inspection Company and the House Whisperer Show. A few weeks ago, I got an email at hello@tricountyyinspectors.com to talk about the differences between dehumidification and humidification. So today, we're going to talk about humidification. Where do we begin? Whenever we move air, especially hot air, it tends to dry out our sinuses and our throats. So they feel it's best to add humidity to the air. The problem is that when we put on a whole house humidifier on our furnace, we're actually putting the opaque box on the return, and then we're putting the supply above the furnace and the A coil if you have air conditioning. Now, what that's doing is it's taking literally unfiltered air, adding moisture to it, and then pumping it above the A coil. Now, humidifiers require humidistats, similar to a thermostat, but it's going to measure how much humidity needs to be added to your home. They say that anything under 40% humidity will tend to crack your skin. So we usually find our humidistats are set right around 40 to 45%. The problem is that humidity has to be set according to the outside temperatures. So in our regions, we can have 20-degree nights and 50-degree days. Well, you have to be able to adjust the humidity for that change in temperature. The problem is the humidistat is usually in the basement. So it's that old adage, out of sight, out of mind. So what I find is, like any new toy, it's fun to play with for a while, but after a while you're going to just set it at 45% and just go away. The problem is that if you're adding too much humidity to your ductwork, a few things happen. One is mold. Now, our ducts are opaque, so we're not going to actually see if we have mold in our ductwork without literally cleaning them. The other thing that happens too is that this excess moisture is going to drop down into the A coil and into the furnace. Now, within the furnace is a body called the heat exchanger. The sole purpose in life is to separate heat from carbon monoxide. So if you have your moisture level too high, it's going to tend to deteriorate or rust out your heat exchanger. Now, that is the heart of your furnace. So there's a potential of actually putting carbon monoxide into your home if you develop cracks in your heat exchanger. Years ago, probably back in the 80s, I did a house in Montgomery County here in Pennsylvania. And the house is only 6 years old. But when I could look in the bottom of the heat exchanger in those days, the corrosion looked like potato chips. I've got up my CO detector and it was screaming. So here was a 6-year-old furnace that got totally destroyed by a humidifier. Humidifiers also require additional maintenance. And what's that? And I call this the people don't do list. One, again, they're not adjusting the humidistat. Two, they need to clean the element inside that humidifier every 2 weeks with vinegar and water solution. Some clients say, well, Jack, I get mine serviced once a year right before the beginning of the heating season. Well, that's way too long. Gives that chance for mold to grow. The next thing you have to do is turn it off for the summer. So sometimes I'll walk into the house and it's July and the house is clammy and the client turns to me and says, how come? And I said, chances are they have their humidifier on. So before the summer month kicks in, the system needs to be drained and turned off. So it's not just a matter of turning the baffle, it's a matter of going to the water source and literally turning it off there. People are concerned about mold. The other day I had a client whose son was extremely susceptible to it. And I said, well, when we get downstairs, we'll take a look at the returns. Now, there was white calcium deposits on the opposite side of the humidifier, which tells me that it's leaking inside. And there was corrosion at the bottom of the return, which tells me they had the moisture levels way too high. So again, my advice was to take the humidifiers off and get your ducts cleaned and let's start fresh. Now, what if you need humidity? Well, especially children, you can always buy a local humidifier. Put it in their bedroom. There's types that you can put in your hallway. And then the beauty of that is that every few days you have to put fresh water in it, which is its intended purpose. But at the end of the season, you're able to put it away in a box. So home inspectors and humidifiers, we don't really see eye to eye too much, so we try to talk about the benefits, but unfortunately there's not many. So if you'd like to hear me talk about any topic, please send me a comment below, and if you like the topic, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.